Wisdom doesn't show up with candles on a birthday cake. It shows up quietly, when a man sits with himself, questions his choices, and learns from his scars. That's how older Sigma males are formed, not from trends or noise, but from years of staying true to their own standards while the world pushed them to conform. Their confidence isn't loud or flashy. It's calm, steady, and built from lessons that came the hard way. And when an older Sigma decides to share advice, he doesn't waste words. He speaks in principles that cut straight to the point, lessons that protect your mind, your time, and your future. Welcome back to Alpha Man Cave. This is the channel where men grow sharper, stronger, and more independent. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the community. We've got a lot more to explore together. Now, let's break down 8 powerful lessons older Sigma males live by. Guidance that can save you years of wasted energy if you're ready to listen. 1. Learn to walk away from anything that costs your self-respect. Early in life, it's tempting to take shortcuts. You might accept disrespect from a boss just to keep the job, laugh at a fake joke to fit in, or take a deal that gives you quick money but makes you feel like a fraud. Older Sigmas have lived through that. They know that every time you betray yourself, you feel it in your gut. The money, approval, or connection fades, but the regret lingers. That's why they live by this rule. If it forces me to lie, bow to disrespect, or bury my values, I walk away. Walking away doesn't mean weakness. It's leverage. It tells the world, I'm not for sale. Over time, that kind of boundary attracts better partners, truer friends, and opportunities that respect who you are. 2. Time spent angry is time you pay twice. Anger feels powerful in the moment, but the cost always comes later. It damages your health through stress, it ruins your focus, and it forces you to waste even more energy repairing broken relationships. Older Sigmas still get angry, but they've trained themselves not to let it live rent-free in their minds. When something sparks that fire, they ask, can I fix it, or should I let it go? If it can be fixed, they take calm, direct action. If it can't, they release it like dropping a heavy rock from their backpack. This way, they don't carry yesterday's battles into tomorrow's opportunities. Instead of wasting hours replaying grudges, they reinvest that energy into building, creating, and living. 3. Say, I don't know without shame. Younger men often pretend to know things to look smart or confident. But older Sigmas will tell you, pretending only multiplies mistakes. Admitting, I don't know, may feel vulnerable, but it's the fastest road to growth. Why? Because honesty attracts the right knowledge. It earns trust. People will respect your answers more, because they know you're not bluffing. And every time you acknowledge a gap, it becomes a new skill you can learn. Over decades, this habit creates massive competence. While others polished their image, the Sigma expanded his actual abilities. He became the guy people rely on, not because he knows everything, but because they trust everything he says. 4. Don't argue with people who live for chaos. Not everyone argues to find truth. Some argue just to stir the pot. They change topics mid-discussion, twist your words, and throw insults just to keep the fire burning. Older Sigmas used to waste energy trying to reason with them, but they learned the hard way. You never win against chaos, because chaos doesn't want resolution. It wants fuel. Now they disengage early. They recognize the warning signs and walk away. Silence, in this case, is power. It protects your focus and denies drama the oxygen it needs. Walking away isn't defeat, it's victory over distraction. 5. Leave every place better than you found it. This principle applies everywhere. A campsite, a workplace, a friendship, even a random conversation. The Sigma's presence should improve the environment, not damage it. That means cleaning up after yourself, keeping your word, adding value in conversations instead of gossip, and leaving people feeling better, not worse. It might seem like a small thing, but over time, this habit builds a powerful reputation. People trust a man who makes situations better, not messier. That reputation opens doors, builds loyalty, and strengthens self-discipline. If you won't leave a stranger's workspace in disarray, you're even less likely to leave your own life in chaos. 6. Learn the basics of law and finance. Ignorance in these two areas is brutally expensive. Older Sigmas have seen people lose houses, cars, or years of savings just because they didn't understand the fine print. That's why they study the essentials, not to become experts, but to protect themselves. They learn how contracts work so they don't sign traps. They learn budgeting so money doesn't control them. They understand taxes and debt so they're not blindsided. They practice simple investing so their future is stable. This knowledge builds freedom. It lets them focus on purpose, not panic. And when something is too complex, they know when to call in a specialist. 7. Respect everyone, especially those overlooked. True character isn't shown by how you treat your boss. It's shown by how you treat the janitor, the waiter, or the cashier. Older Sigmas never forget the people who helped them in small ways. The cook who served them during hard times, the maintenance worker who unlocked a door when they were stuck. They understand that power shifts, but dignity belongs to everyone. That's why they make a habit of saying, please, and thank you sincerely. This consistent courtesy pays back in ways you can't predict. It builds goodwill, keeps the ego grounded, and reminds them that respect should flow in all directions, not just downward. 8. Revisit your life philosophy every 5 years. Beliefs that worked at May 20th trap you at 40. The world changes. You change. And if you never examine your philosophy, you risk making decisions with outdated thinking. Older Sigmas schedule what you could call a personal audit. Every 5 years, they reread the books that influenced them, challenge their own assumptions, and listen to intelligent people who disagree with them. Some principles survive stronger, others get refined, and some are retired. This practice keeps them both grounded and adaptable, a balance that beats rigid certainty in a world that never stops shifting. Why do older Sigmas share these lessons? Because every piece of advice was paid for, through regret, wasted energy, and expensive mistakes. Wisdom, for them, is scar tissue turned into guidance. But they don't preach to anyone who isn't ready. They only share with men willing to grow. And if you're still here, it means you are one of them. You're ready. Their advice is a map. But remember, the journey is yours to walk. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe to Alpha Man Cave, and share which lesson hit you hardest in the comments. And if you're ready for the next step, click here to watch more insightful videos on Sigma lifestyle.